This is Bill Payne, and we're interviewing today
Robert F. Gardiner.
Okay, and we're here at the American Legion Post on John Street in Saugerties, New York. It's February 27th, 2005. And also with us today is Kate Thornton and Matt McElreath from Saugerties High School are helping us with the technical work, and our post commander, Alan Brzezinski, and I'm doing the interviewing, and I'm Bill Payne. So, what branch of the service did you serve in, Bob?
Army.
Okay. And were you drafted or did you enlist?
Drafted.
You were drafted. So you didn't have any choice about what branch you were going
No, I
into?
guess not.
Drafted into the Army. Okay. And where were you living at that time, Bob?
Sabaton. That's up the road.
Now it's called Smith's Landing.
Smith's Landing.
Okay. And you didn't have a choice of what branch you were going to go into. You just got drafted into the Army?
That's right. I was drafted in the Army.
Okay. And do you recall what your first days of service were like?
I would say a little excitable. You know, first time you go away from home, you know, and it's something new. It's a challenge, though. I believe in that.
Yeah. Did you go to, where'd you go first when you left?
Fort Devens.
You went from, let's say, Albany to Fort Devens?
That's right.
And where's that located?
Fort Devens, Massachusetts.
Okay. And what happened there?
I got transferred right down to Camp Chaffee, Arkansas.
And you did boot camp in Camp
Boot
Chaffee?
camp, 16 weeks.
16 weeks. And what was that like?
It was interesting, especially when you had to go on bivouac, infiltration course, and they also gave us, when we first approached there, they gave us 1 minute of hell. That's what they showed us. And I had that in my mind, and says, I know where I'm going.
What was the 1 minute of hell about?
Everything. They fired everything. They had everybody that came into the post. They had us all out there, and they showed us everything 1 minute in hell. And I'm telling you, it was a barrage of everything.
Was it at nighttime or daytime?
Daytime.
So that included artillery and mortars? And
Everything,
machine guns?
bazookas, small arms,
Yeah.
50 calibers,
Yeah.
105s. It was tremendous.
You were shooting out into a range, and you could see all the...
It was quite interesting. They also showed us tanks in the foreground, and you hit them with the bazookas. It was very accurate. They see these fellows on the post. They're all experienced men.
Yeah. And
And what they got to show you, of course, they give you the experience.
So your instructors were combat veterans themselves?
Yeah.
What else do you remember about your instructors? What were they like?
Instructors were good, especially when you had to go hand-to-hand, like combat with your bayonets. Of course, you didn't hit one another, you know. You had to go through formality.
Yeah.
And also judo. Done a lot of judo classes. You had to do that for the infantry.
Yeah.
That's mandatory.
At that time, you knew you were going to be going to the infantry?
Very, very much so, because, well, I qualified in both places. In the infantry, and I qualified artillery. Especially when they wanted to show us how to breach the firearm.
What kind of cannons were you shooting back then?
105.
105 Howitzer.
105, that's on the safe side.
And the rifle you had was the M1?
M1.
Now, you mentioned the infiltrator course, so I guess that was, when I had it, was like crawling under barbed wire with machine guns shooting over top of you?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
So how'd you get through all that?
Pretty well. Only thing I didn't like about it is the mud.
Oh, the mud.
We had to go through that daytime and nighttime.
Yeah. How old were you then, Bob?
I was 22 when I went to service.
Okay. Some of the fellows were a little younger than you, I guess, at
Yeah,
that time.
they were a little younger. And of course, we had a lot of Regular Army fellows too, you know, along with the draftees.
I was about the same age when I was in boot camp, and I was one of the oldest. So you served during the Korean War?
Right.
Okay. Now, once you got done with boot camp, where'd you go immediately after that?
Well, after I finished basic, I stayed as a cavalryman.
Stayed on as a help to train the other troops?
And of course, it was a short spell. I had the 4th platoon. They always call that the 8-ball.
The 8-ball.
But I tell you, I had mostly Southern fellows, and they were excellent as far as good soldiers.
Good soldiers, huh?
But they were on the sloppy side. I would leave my quarters, you know, just go outside, and I said, well, somebody must have been after them. And I'm out drilling in the freight field. So, you know, it's nice to see all that, you know.
Yeah.
Really.
Experience.
I mean, that puts your heart and soul into what you gotta do.
It does. Where else did you go, let's say here in the States, or what happened after you were
That's it.
cadre?
After there was a fella, Hattier, and my name. See, all the fellows I trained with, they all left.
Mm-hmm.
So we were only two, we stayed as cadremen,
Mm-hmm.
and we got our names called, Hattier and Gardiner. I said, what are they trying to do to us?
Mm-hmm.
Only two there.
Yeah.
So there I came home on leave,
Okay.
and I had a furlough,
Mm-hmm.
and then I left from there, I went right back to St. Louis by train.
Mm-hmm.
Then I took the train all the way up to Seattle, Washington. That's where I embarked.
Mm-hmm.
I left.
You got on board a ship?
Yeah.
And you sailed across?
The funny part of it, I says, I think we're going to hit the beach or something.
Yeah.
We left with full field packs, M1s.
Uh-huh.
Of course, go back a little bit. I had an M1. See, before you had to go on the ship, you had to go out in the range and fire your rifle.
Uh-huh.
So I just says, well, you have to fire a rifle. So I fired a rifle. And I hear a tap on my back. There's the captain says, take good care of it. He says, you can zero it no more.
Ooh.
And I was surprised of it,
Yeah.
because I always liked the M1.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we left Seattle.
You got on board a ship, right?
Yeah.
Is this the ship here?
Yeah,
Would
Rain Lynx.
You can hold that over there, and the camera will just take a look at that ship. What's the name of it?
The Rain Lynx.
Rain Lynx. Okay. And you sailed all the way across the Pacific Ocean on board that ship?
That's right. That's where
Mm-hmm.
this here came into,
Yep.
and we,
Okay. We got it. Okay.
and we passed the 180 Meridian,
Mm-hmm.
and then we landed in Korea.
So when you passed the
No,
100
wait a minute, I
Yeah.
jumped myself ahead of time.
Yep.
We landed at Camp Drake, Japan.
Mm-hmm.
From there,
Just, you mentioned passing the 180th Meridian, which is the international date line.
Yeah.
And I did it in the air when I went across, and did it on board ship, and you got that certificate for passing the realm of the Golden Dragon.
yeah.
Did they have a particular ceremony when you went across that?
Absolutely.
Just tell us about that, all right?
Well, I tell you, first of all,
Yep.
they had a little electric chair. They call it that electric chair. It works by a little hand generator.
Yeah.
Well, they would put you in there and you get a little feel of it, you know.
They gave you an electric
Then they
shock?
had a plate that went off the ship,
Uh-huh.
and they blindfold you.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of fellows says, I'm not going to walk over there. Don't push me. I'm not going to go. Of course, they had safety that you
Yeah.
not happen to you.
No.
There was I never forget the time, because when I come to meet, they took a big lock of my hair. They took a chunk right out of my head. And they told me to bend over.
Uh-huh.
They had a big, large pipe. Of course, it's easy to go through the pipe, but they drive you through. They had a big, wide plank like this. When you bend over to get in there, that pipe, they would sock you with it.
And this
There's
was
a lot of little different things. And then there's one spot they would put oil and spinach in your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine how that tastes?
This is the sailors doing it to you.
Oh,
right?
this is quite a thing. I guess it's got to do with the sailors, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Very interesting. Something like that, you know, something new, you know.
Something different, huh? So you say you got to Japan first, right?
Yeah, Camp Drake.
Mm-hmm. Where in Japan did you land on the ship?
In Japan?
Yeah. Yokohama?
Yokohama Harbor.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll bring you back more on the ship. I had SP duty going over.
Shore
I
patrol.
was such a good guard man in the States, so they give me SP duty.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, we had 500 Canadians on. Of course, going over, we hit a storm for 4 days, and brother, I tell you, that ship was 700. The ship we went over was 700 some feet long,
Mhm.
and of course, them waves, they seemed like mountains, and you wonder, you know, I had to keep. There's two of us, one outside
Mhm.
one side the ship, one side the other,
Yeah.
and the Canadians were on the fantail.
Mhm.
And once in a while, they would try to sneak out, and you tell them to go back in.
Yeah.
That's our duty, to keep people off. When you're in a storm like that, you got to keep them off the deck.
Mhm.
But that's quite a thing to have SP duty,
Yeah, yeah.
shore patrol.
Shore patrol. So you were a soldier, but you were in the Navy shore
Yeah,
patrol.
Navy too,
Okay.
Navy both.
Like a Navy MP,
So
military police.
when we got over there in the harbor, you know how guys are kidding one another, I dare you, I do this, I dare you do that. Well, this one Canadian jumped overboard. the minute they fished him out of the water, he was sent right back to the States, Canada.
Went back to
They sent him
Canada.
Right back, I guess, imagine they just took him out, service altogether.
Not a place to be playing around, huh?
So, anyway, we stayed a short spell in Camp Drake,
Mm-hmm.
and then we went down by train. Beautiful trains over there,
Yeah.
all wood seats and
Mm-hmm.
next to a cattle car.
Oh, okay.
And I never forget, we come to one station and you hear this in Japanese, "You have no yo-yo." And of course we went on to Sasebo,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where we shipped out, went to Korea.
Okay. From Sasebo, you shipped to Korea.
Yeah,
And where did you land in Korea?
Busan.
Busan. Now, was this early in the Korean War?
No, this is a little later in the Korean
Okay.
War.
All right. So that you landed at Busan, and then
Yeah,
What
we
happened after
we
that?
went on up front.
what was it like when you got to Korea? How did it feel?
Well, just as much as I expected to see, the straw huts and stuff like that, you know, and when you're on troop, I call them troop trains over there. Of course, they're nice and comfortable.
Yeah.
And so that's, and some of them is like a boxcar you had to ride in.
Uh-huh. So not comfortable.
I thought maybe we were in the Second World War, even you see a boxcar or something. Well,
Yeah.
that's what you had to do to load the fellas on you.
What unit were you with at that time?
8th Army,
The 8th Army.
375th Division.
375th Division
Yeah.
of the 8th Army.
That's a traveling corps.
Uh-huh. So then you got to your, where was your post when you got to where you were going in
Our back post, we had down Huijambu.
Huijambu?
Yeah. And then we were just about centralized, the 8th Army. We had the I Corps on the right,
Uh-huh.
and then you had the Marines
Mm-hmm.
on the left, on the west coast.
On the west coast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The Marines had already landed at Incheon.
Oh, yeah,
before
yeah,
that.
well,
Busan perimeter
that-
was over with.
That was a major thing after Incheon
Yeah.
landing, because you bring all your supplies in,
Right.
you had an airport there,
Mm-hmm.
you had everything.
Okay.
And it was a pretty fast movement there.
Yep. What was your job assignment? What was your
Ammo man.
ammo man?
Yeah, mostly hold ammo, gasoline,
Mhm.
anti-tank mines, anything that we can send out.
You transported them on trucks?
Trucks, yeah.
Okay. And did you see combat while you were over there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I tell you, you know, it gets so bad sometimes when you get up front there, you gotta have the cooks, the other personnel,
Yeah.
you throw them a rifle.
Yeah.
That's just the way it was.
Mhm. Did you have an M1 rifle in or an M1 carbine?
No, I had carbine.
Yeah.
And I had a grease gun.
Oh, and you had the M3 grease gun?
Oh, yeah, I always carried a grease
Little
gun,
machine
too.
gun? Yeah. Mhm. How did you like the M1 carbine compared to the rifle?
I don't think too much of it. I like the M1. I don't care. It weighs a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but it's got good velocity and it's accurate.
Grease gun work okay? The grease gun work okay?
Yeah.
Yep. Now, you mentioned to us before we started the interview that you have a piece of enemy shrapnel here,
Yeah.
and right there by
Here
your
it
hand.
is.
Could you hold it up for the camera so they can take a look at it? That's a fragment that came off an enemy artillery round.
Yeah, that's over. See when you got troops moving in and out, they use an aerial burst.
That was an aerial burst, so it
Yeah.
exploded in the sky
Yeah,
above you.
it comes over.
Tell us about that, exactly what happened that day.
Well, we were moved into mortar positions there, and they had rounds going over. They even knocked out a Fort Zerber post, and I says, "Uh-oh, something's going to happen here." We're trying to get the ammo off, you know.
Now, you mentioned that you were with the Thailand troops, right, from
Yeah.
Thailand? Yeah.
Yeah, we went in with them. See, anybody that asked for the ammo, we'll get to that,
Yeah.
because I got some figures on that,
Yeah.
on the ammo at the time, how many trucks was involved, you wouldn't believe it.
Yep.
But going back to this here,
Yep.
when the aerial burst came, they knew another round was going to come, and all of a sudden this came from out of nowhere, and this guy knocked me right down.
That piece of
Right
shrapnel
down.
knocked you right down, huh?
If not, I would have had that, truthfully, he told me, he says, you would have had that right through your back.
Where did it hit you?
It hit, when he knocked me down.
Oh, I see.
He
Okay.
knocked me down this way, and it went this way.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was very fortunate.
Yep. Did you wear any kind of body armor back then, like flak
No,
jackets or
no,
anything?
no.
Some people had them, I guess.
just a helmet.
Yeah. Okay. So you got knocked down and didn't get hit with that piece of
That's
shrapnel?
right.
as a result?
Well, like I say, I almost gets the
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Were there very many casualties in your unit?
I wouldn't say that many
Mhm.
in our unit because you don't, half the time you don't know we're moving so much. There
Yeah.
was, I'll tell you how many trucks was involved. We moved 28,000 ton of ammunition up front.
Wow.
And there was about 375,000 miles. Miles, mind you, in Korea.
Yeah.
You wonder how they get so many miles on it. Well, that's what the uppers figured.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
that goes on our unit citation.
Uh-huh. Well, the roads weren't very straight, so you had to keep making curves.
I guess
Up and down the mountains,
Or
right?
they're dusty, and when it's raining, they're mighty muddy.
Yeah.
I got a lot of pictures of them. I don't know what I've done from home, but
Yeah, we got some
I don't
here.
know if I brought any or not. But
Now, we had talked about it, would you, so that was one of your, probably your most memorable experience. You almost got killed by that shrapnel. Tell us some other
well, there's
incidents.
another one.
Yeah.
You heard of Busan, did you? You ever
Mhm.
hear of Busan?
Yeah.
Well, I and the first sergeant was coming back. This is late at night,
Yeah.
and hit a roadblock. You know, a roadblock, boulders. They put boulders in.
Yeah, the enemy knocked boulders down to block the road.
Well, you know, when we couldn't get through, he ordered me to get out and fire. Well, I did.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see in the dark. We must have hit somebody, but
Mhm.
because then he got out and he fired. We were lucky. We had a guy back at the road pool. He fixed us an extra clip,
Mhm.
long clip,
Yeah.
a little bit more, burn the barrel off the ones, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we got out. And he told me to move some of the stones. I said, we're going to get over them.
Mhm. Yeah.
We did get over them.
2.5 ton truck you
Yeah,
got?
2.5 ton, and we did, and
Yeah.
we scooped.
Yeah.
Of course,
okay.
you got them little night job lights.
Mhm.
That's the only thing you can see.
These were like the lights they used to blackout?
Yeah,
lights?
blackout lights, yeah.
Just little slits on the headlight?
Little small things.
Yeah.
I call them a guide on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's the experience I had.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I had shells up my back.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
You were facing both the Chinese and the North Koreans,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah. So I guess the question is, you did have chills up your back, you did feel feelings of stress
Oh,
and all that, of course.
Nobody can tell me that, you know, I wasn't scared or anything like that, but there's a lot of fellows had that feeling, you know.
Yeah.
You really.
Now, you weren't prisoner of war. All right, now you were awarded medals and citations. We can maybe take a picture over here of the medals that Mr. Gardiner was awarded. And this is, right here. You have the Army Good Conduct Medal and the medal that the United Nations gave for our troops serving over there. And then the other one is the medal that was given to us, was given to the soldiers by the American government, the Korean Service Medal.
Yeah.
And I see you have about 1, 2, 3 battle stars on there, huh? 3 battle stars, yeah. And then the 2 medals here are actually awarded by New York State for being in a unit that was awarded a unit citation and for being a member of New York State who served in a combat zone. And then the other medal on the end was just recently awarded by the Korean government.
That's right.
All Americans
Yeah.
who were
Well,
veterans of the
this
Korean
here
War.
was, where's the other part of it? The 50th,
Mhm.
50th anniversary.
50th anniversary of the Korean War. Yeah. And you have also a certificate from the governor of the state of New York awarding you the conspicuous service star, right? Yeah.
There's probably the other one in here,
Yeah.
where it is.
That's the Korean one.
That Korean, for the
Uh-huh.
Korean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Let's look at that.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, very nice. Yeah, that's a certificate from the, I'll just hold that up there, you can get a shot of the camera there, right? It's written in the Korean language, it's also from the South
Yeah.
Korean government, and makes note of the United Nations and the effort that was put out by the American troops. And all those little flags were all the allies we had in Korea. We had a lot of other countries. Mr. Gardner just mentioned Thailand.
That I admire.
Yeah.
Well, but I see all these fellows, the Turks,
Yep,
all these other,
the Greeks, the Turks.
everyone over there.
A
I
lot of
think
countries that don't get along with each other came to support the effort in Korea
That's
against
right,
the communists.
that's right.
Yep,
Now, that was the United Nations then,
yep, yep.
but not today.
Not today. Did you have any particular injuries yourself while you were there, or you
No, actually, I didn't have any injuries.
stayed healthy the whole time? Yeah.
Pretty, no, I tell you, I had the bug.
Oh, yeah,
Like-
yeah, the Asian bug.
And this, he called himself a doctor. I think he's a little bit horse doctor.
Right.
And he'd give me a shot and I broke out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It had cleared up after a while.
How did you stay in touch with your family while you were away?
I wrote.
You wrote letters?
Yeah.
And they wrote back?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Get any packages from home or anything like that?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. They never forgot me.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think one Christmas there, I got about 6 big boxes.
Wow. What was in the
I
boxes?
shared it, I shared
We
it.
always did.
Everything, I shared
Yeah.
everything.
What was in there?
Peanuts, nuts,
Yeah.
pepperoni, all
Yeah.
the goodies, you know,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
holidays, you know.
Yep.
Cheese and,
Mm-hmm. What was the regular food like you got from the Army generally? How
well,
was
I was brought up over there on CC rations.
that? Yeah, okay. Describe that, would you?
All except it's canned.
Yeah, uh-huh.
They go by numbers.
Mhm.
And the most best one you had with the chocolate inside
Mm-hmm.
and crackers.
Yep.
Then you had hash. And then you had the lima beans with pork in it.
Did you like that? No.
Well, we sort of want to swap one another. Hey, what do you got? You can have mine, or et cetera, you know.
We had that in Vietnam too. We had a name for it, which I'm not going to repeat.
Well, I can't figure out why we got all the Second World War rations.
That's the point. This was left over from the Second World War, these rations.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the Second World War, it ended in about 1945.
Yeah.
And what year were you over there?
In 50, I went into service 51, first part of 52.
Okay. So you had food that was almost, well, let's say 8 years old or more, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Well, not all the time. Once in a while, we would go way back to stationary camp, they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get powdered eggs,
Powdered eggs.
powdered milk. Well,
Mm-hmm.
some fellows say they like the sea rations better.
Yeah, yeah. Did you had plenty of supplies though, were you ever?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
never ran out of supplies.
Okay. And how was the winter weather over there?
Cold,
Yeah,
very cold.
Very cold,
yeah.
And sometimes you had to spend time outdoors, I guess, right?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You didn't have no southern comfort over there, I'm telling you. No.
Is there anything you did for good luck or that type of thing?
For good luck, I carried a 4-leaf clover.
Oh, yeah.
And I still carry that yet today in my wallet.
Same one?
Before I left to go into service, I was out in the lawn, laid on the lawn home, and found that 4-leaf clover.
Wow.
And I put it alongside my brother. I'm 13 years old, my brother John. You know my brother John,
Sure.
the big guy.
Yep.
I put it right with his picture in my wallet, and I carried that ever since.
Wow. That's something. Now what did you guys, would you have anything to do for entertainment there or?
I wouldn't say that much. I know a lot of ones in the rear, they have a little ball game of softball or stuff like that, but
Mhm.
I never seen too much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you ain't got nothing to do, you pick up an activity, you know.
Mhm.
But
So what did fellas do, let's say, to entertain themselves? Did they have something to do?
well, sometimes you can buy stuff and you sit down, relax, and eat it and
Mm-hmm.
talk things over, you know. And
Okay.
that's about the enjoyable thing you can have over there.
Did you get any shows, U.S. shows, or?
Yes,
films
as a
or
matter of
anything?
fact, I seen one. I was so far away. It's just like you in Albany and watching the show in New York City. That's how far you went. There was a few there. Debbie Reynolds was there,
Oh, okay. Wow.
and I think a couple other ones along with her. I couldn't make them out that good.
Right,
If
yeah.
you had binoculars, you'd be all right, but you don't have them things over there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, in other words, it wasn't too bad. That's the only one we seen over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You mentioned you had a furlough here in the States before you went over. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
came home to the
Yeah.
Cementon area.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And what did you do when you were home during that time? Just,
I'll go around and see everybody.
uh-huh.
And, you know something, I always thought about MacArthur being a pretty good man, especially in the Second World War.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought about that. When I was a youngster, he says, I'll be back.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, when I went up to get the bus, I said to my mom,
Mhm.
last one, I'll be back, Mom.
All right.
That's not my furlough.
Uh-huh.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
I never knew I'd be coming back, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the old word he used to say.
Yep. Now, you when you were over in Korea, did you get a chance to have any rear area type furloughs or any of that type
No,
of thing?
no.
Nothing, huh?
As a matter of fact,
No R&R or anything like
a
that?
lot of fellows, yeah, did take R&R,
Yeah, yeah.
but they were sorry they took R&R.
Oh, yeah?
Because he says, when you go to R&R, they treat you so good over there, hot baths and all that. The ladies treat you so good over there.
Yeah,
Like they said, it spoils you, and you gotta come back.
after a few days, you gotta come back to the
You
front.
gotta come back.
The R&R was probably mostly in Japan, right?
Well, they always call that rest and recuperate.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of fellows did rest, you know.
No, you didn't rest at all. Did you travel elsewhere while you were in the service, besides you mentioned in the States and Korea? Did you go anywhere else?
No,
No? Okay.
not over there.
Now, did you think of anything particularly, you mentioned some humorous events, there's always something funny going on. Was there any kind of pranks that people pulled on each other or jokes or anything like that?
Well,
Tell us
sure,
about
yeah,
it?
you always gotta find a couple jokers in the company, you know.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of things did they do, let's say, to lighten it up?
Well, especially your clothes and stuff like that. Hide your clothes or tie a knot in your sleeve or something like that. You know, little small things like that.
Now, we mentioned it, did you have any photographs? And I see you really have quite a few.
Oh, if you want to go back to when I came back, when I left
Yeah.
Korea.
Yep.
Well, when I left Korea, we came up the coastline
Mhm.
past Japan. You can see that tremendous volcano.
Yeah, right.
And we were supposed to lack off with the ship.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to meet all the mayors, I think it's the mayors from every state
Oh.
in Seattle. They're supposed to be down there near the boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we came into Seattle, we had all kind of escorts. That's the first load that come in there,
Mhm.
troops
Yep.
in Seattle. There was fireboats, there was submarines, there was tin cans,
Mhm.
everything you imagine. Right? We were surprised.
Yeah.
And of course, we were all dressed in khakis.
Yep.
And of course, when we had to see the show, there were the girls, these
Mhm.
probably showed it.
Yep.
The girls, they put on a show on a gang out in front there.
Mhm. This is probably, we're talking about here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just hold those up there.
I don't know if you can get a
Mhm.
picture of them.
The camera in there? There you go. You got it? Okay, good. So go ahead.
And I says, well, they said you're going to be in the parade.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, that's good, we can march. Boy, we're all ready to march. You know where they put us? They stuck us in these buses. And then, of course, they threw all the confetti in the window,
Mm-hmm.
which made it excitable. Now, if you want to go back to this,
Yeah, we can't show it.
we helped the Marine Corps out 100% out there.
Uh-huh.
We hauled,
That's a picture of a Marine Sikorsky helicopter. Right?
see, the bridge was out.
Uh-huh.
And of course, we had to haul this ammunition plus the anti-tank mines for them.
Wow.
10,000 anti-tank mines we had to haul.
Here's a picture
Plus
of the bridge.
the bridge was out and they repaired it.
Mhm.
I give the engineers a lot of credit.
Yep. Okay, you got that? We're good? Okay. Now, you did mention here that this is kind of, looks to me like a shot of how cold it was and nasty. And
Oh yeah, this is troop movement.
Mm-hmm.
It was cold, boy. That's a cold country.
Okay, and here's a picture of a little Bell helicopter that people who watched MASH would recognize.
Well, I went up in one
Did you?
when I was over
Yeah,
there.
I
I knew
had
the
to.
lieutenant up there.
You feel like your feet are hanging out in front of you.
I says, I hope they don't shoot us down.
Mm.
Well, of course, he stayed in a small area.
Yep. And I just want to show these here. That is a picture of you. Looks like you're sitting on a bunch of explosives there.
Oh yeah, that's artillery shells.
105s?
Oh, I sat on a lot of them.
Yeah. Okay, and then this is a picture of you with some captured enemy equipment, I see. Looks like a big mortar and like a mountain howitzer
Yeah.
type weapon. You said they were made by the Russians and the Red Chinese?
Yeah, Russian.
Russians, huh?
Russian made.
Russian made, yeah. Okay. So you mentioned that you got back here to the, we got that, Mac? Good, okay. You mentioned you got back here to the States, and you did have a welcome home. And were you still in the Army for a while after that, or what happened?
No, matter of fact, we were a short time in Seattle,
Mm-hmm.
and of course they gave us our quarters to stay. And
Mm-hmm.
this one guy there, Lieutenant, he's a crackerjack. He's a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
He says, "Hey Bob," he says, I'll zero you in tonight." Of course, we had the barracks. He says, "Don't take your clothes off."
Yeah.
He says, "I'm going to give you a whistle."
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "We're going to fall out in about an hour or so." Her old guys, they took their clothes off, and I just blew the whistle.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first sergeant comes in, he says, "Fall out, we're going home." You want to see fellows move.
Oh, yeah.
And me, I says, "What's taking you fellows so long, you know?" "Hey, you're a little agitator, that's all."
You were already dressed and
I was
ready to go.
already dressed, and the lieutenant was good,
The
though.
other lieutenant was a good guy, huh?
Yeah.
Most of your officers okay, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That I can say. Even going back to training,
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't be better nice guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you,
Hey.
yeah, go ahead.
They told me, he says, "If you want to save yourself, you better be a good soldier."
Mm-hmm.
That's just what they told me right off the bat.
Yeah. Did you keep a diary at all of what went on over there, or?
Not really, no. I didn't think about too much,
Mhm.
you know, a little bit you think about, but that's why when I came home, I very seldom talk about it.
Oh, sure.
You know, it's,
The Korean War went on for a while after you came home?
well,
or?
yeah, that was, matter of fact, when we came up past Japan, the armistice was signed.
Oh, okay.
If you look at it, I think I have a picture, when
Mhm.
we were still up there, just before all the armistices,
Mhm.
they called the Freedom Village.
Okay. Some great pictures there. Oh, that's a 2.5 ton truck upside down.
Oh, yeah, quite a few of them.
Yeah,
Upside down, wheels knocked off.
yeah. Freedom Village, huh?
But on that tremendous movement over there,
Mm-hmm.
we did not lose no vehicles whatsoever.
Mhm.
No kind of vehicles. I don't know if I put it in there, but there was.
Here we go, Freedom Village.
There
Ah,
it is.
All right.
There's a picture of
Why
the
don't you hold that up to the camera, would you, Bob?
Freedom Village. That's commence of the prisoner exchange.
Oh, okay. That's where we got our prisoners of war back from the enemy, huh?
Yeah.
Were you there, and you were there when that was happening?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Because
It hadn't happened yet.
this here, they already was in process
Mm-hmm.
for
got
prison
that?
exchange.
That's good.
And
So the
See, the armistice-
negotiation was.
when I
done.
was,
Yeah.
I think it was, I don't know exact date now,
Mhm.
it was in July,
Yeah. Sounds
when they
right.
told them the armistice was signed,
Mhm.
come over that.
Okay. So you were just floating off the coast in Japan?
Off the
and
coast, coming in,
armistice came to
we
an end?
were, you know where we came? We came all the way up around the Aleutian Islands,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
and then we came into Seattle.
Okay. Now, did you get discharged out in Seattle, or?
No, I got, in Jersey.
New Jersey?
We
You
flew,
went on a train from, or how'd you,
Camp Kilmer.
all right, how'd you get from Seattle?
They flew
Flew
us,
you? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
7 plane loads.
Mhm. What kind of airplane? was
Cargo plane, you know, you only haul about 38.
it? Right. Mm-hmm.
And there was, seven planes.
Mm-hmm.
And we flew from there to Montana, from Montana to Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
then Chicago to North Philly.
Yeah.
Then from North Philly, we got on the express buses again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're a little bit better than the other
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, yeah.
And that's where we got.
So where in New Jersey were you?
Camp Kilmer.
Camp Kilmer, New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey.
And you got discharged there?
Discharge there.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, two of us was close buddies. This guy Tony from Jersey, I still keep in contact with him.
You still keep in
And we
contact?
shook hands when we got out the
Mhm.
gate. We shook hands. He went one way and I went the other way.
Okay. And he lives in New Jersey, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Camp Courthouse.
When you once you got out of the service, what did you do? You came back up to cement and
Well, I come back and I went in construction.
you worked
To be a
in-
carpenter.
Became a carpenter. Okay. And you continued doing that
Yeah, 37 years.
37 years. Okay. You retired now?
Retired. It's been 14 years this July.
Did you do anything with the GI Bill, any apprenticeship program or anything
No,
like that?
no.
Okay. And,
I know the opportunities was there, but
Mhm.
but,
Yeah. And you did make some close friendships in the service? You kept in touch with your friends?
oh yeah, there's a lot of guys that I lost, and there's
Mhm.
a lot of guys that came stateside
Mhm.
that I lost too, you know, they
Yeah.
died just natural causes, you know.
Sure. Do you have any reunions or anything like that?
No.
No? Okay. Now, you did obviously join a Veterans Association. You remember the American Legion and?
Actually, you know, affiliated a lot with the 3rd District.
Mhm.
I'm
Okay,
a
you're past
PSW member,
Past commander of this post and past
Right.
county commander. And
County.
you remember the VFW here in Saugerties?
right?
Okay. Any other organizations or vets?
Elks Club.
Well, that's the Elks, yeah. Okay, that's good.
I ain't got my horns yet though. No, I've been there for 26 years.
26
when
years.
they first got the charter.
How long have you been in the Legion?
I guess you ought to know. 50 years, I think.
50 years, that's right.
Yeah.
We just got you your 50-year award.
Just got my award.
That's right, from our commander here, Mr. Grzinski.
That's
good.
right.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a man's on the ball.
Yeah, he is.
I must have got 4 or 5 calls over the house. Don't forget, don't forget.
Yeah, the commander takes his work seriously.
I think he's
Yep.
good.
He even brought a certificate out to one of our brothers who's not feeling real well, took it right to his home.
Yeah, that's very good.
That's how they do. And how did you feel like your service and experiences affect your life?
Well, a lot of people say it took the good life away from me, but you never know. Never know. I have my doubts about that. You could probably live civilian life if something happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
There I went, spent the 2 years there, nothing happened to me, so
Yep.
I can't complain.
And you mentioned before the interview started that your brother, God be good to him, he was a casualty. He was killed in the Second World War, huh?
Yeah, Anzio.
Mm-hmm. Anzio. And
Yeah,
what was his name?
Charles.
Charles Gardiner.
Charles Gardiner.
And he was killed at Anzio.
There's a man was born on 8th October, went away on the 8th, got killed on the 8th, and his watch was sent home with the navel ring, and his clock was right at 8 o'clock, all scattered. Everybody says, why don't you put it in Ripley's? I said, no, I don't believe it. Then I have my brother Clarence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was in the Navy.
He was in the Navy in World War II.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He went up down the coast, I guess.
Uh-huh. And your other brother, he served?
Charles, he
Yeah.
served in Korea.
Served in Korea.
That's after everything is all done with.
After the war was
Yeah.
over. Huh? I see. And what unit was your brother who was killed at Anzio in Italy? What was the?
45th.
The 45th Division?
45th, yeah.
Okay. And so that was some.
Well, that's where I was assigned to go in Korea, 45th.
Mhm.
And then they pulled me out of there. They says, we're really need men bad,
Mhm.
because they looked at MOS and I had a little experience driving, you know. So,
That's Thunderbird Division, the 45th?
no, they didn't call it Thunderbirds. I forget what they
I'm
call
gonna
it.
have to look that up.
Overseas is a little different. I have a book.
Mhm.
My son bought me a book, and
Yep.
I should have brought that
Yeah.
because it's got a lot of photos
Mhm.
of the real
Mhm.
around the reservoir and all that stuff. Then it shows just like regular photos like this in the book. I should have brought that today, and I didn't.
That's all right, we got a lot of
And
information.
It's quite a novel book,
Yeah.
and believe me, it's all packed from everybody that served in Korea.
Mhm.
These stories that they got together, and this guy wrote this book, and I tell you, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I like to bring it over sometimes. Some guys want to sit down and look at it.
Yeah,
I'd be
good.
more than glad to leave it here for a while.
Yeah.
Let them look at it.
Is there anything else you'd like to say that we haven't covered in the interview here, you think, or?
Well, I really don't know what else I could think of. I don't know, you must have looked at all of these. But see, I just grabbed what I had, and
Mhm.
I have a lot in, that's 105 gun emplacements.
Let's show that to the camera, okay? It's a 105 Howitzer in place?
Yeah, 105.
Mhm. Okay, we got it? Good.
Let's see here. Oh, reason why I brought this, I gotta tell you about this.
Yeah, do.
These here are what we call them little Piper Cubs, but they're Ford Observer planes.
Oh, yeah.
And what they've done a lot of, that's why I got to know this lieutenant that gave me a ride in a helicopter. I got to know him.
Yeah.
And what they would do, see, we had 101st ROK soldiers over there.
Yep, that was the Republic of
These
Korea.
fellows would come in and bring their kimchi and fish heads
Uh-huh,
and big bats.
that's what they ate.
And when he come in, he opened the door, he go, oh, he couldn't breathe, you know.
That was the South
It was
Korean,
awful smell.
the South
Awful
Korean
smell.
Army, right? Fellows
Yeah,
that we were
one
fighting
of
with,
the first,
Iraq,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, that, pretty strong stuff.
Oh, yeah, get back to
Do these little airplanes belong to the Army or to the Air Force?
Army.
Army,
Army
uh-huh,
Air Force.
yep.
Oh, here's another one there. He's falling, same thing as
Uh-huh,
they
show
showed
it
there.
the camera there. That's a.
Here's two of them.
Uh-huh.
That's me right there, in that vehicle right there with.
Mhm. Yep. Okay, we got that.
Now, here's another one.
Mhm.
You know, the Capitol in Seoul,
Yep,
well, this building was really shattered.
yeah. Because the battle had raged right through Seoul, capital of
Yes,
Korea.
sirree.
Yep. The enemy had occupied the capital of Seoul, the North Koreans
Yeah.
had occupied it. Yeah.
Now-
Incheon wasn't very far from Seoul, really.
Here's one of them engineers I give them credit for.
Yeah.
That they can throw bridges up twice so you can roll across them. They called it the Spoonbill Bridge.
Spoonbill,
Yeah.
yep. Mhm.
See, a lot of these
You got it? How's
A
that
lot of
sound?
these pictures were the, you know, the little ones?
Mhm.
You know, a lot of the little pictures I sent a lot of, they censored a lot of my mail.
Yeah,
My mail took a lot of good stuff out of there,
Yeah.
even though I sent the negatives, you know,
Mhm.
with small pictures.
Yeah.
But they took a lot of stuff out of there.
Mhm.
Probably people would want to see it,
Yeah.
you know, but I,
Yeah.
well, there's a nice Wonderland, that's another movement.
Yeah, I can hold that up to the camera. Then you travel along the icy frozen roads of Korea there, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The convoy? Yep.
Now, I seen this plane come in. It's a
Mhm.
Navy plane.
Mhm.
It's a Navy plane. The pilot had to make a forced landing.
Okay. Yep. Oh yeah, that's a AD Skyraider.
Yeah.
Which many of them flew off of aircraft carriers,
Yeah,
and they
right.
were able to carry a whole lot of ordnance, and they could stay in the air over a target for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
We had them in Vietnam too.
See,
Yep.
there's all heads there. That's when we were coming home.
Uh-huh. Had you got? Was this when you were already back to the States? or-
Yeah, coming right back in.
Okay. Got it? Maybe. Yeah, try to zoom it up again one time. All right.
That's all them girls again. I don't know if you're interested in this stuff.
Oh, we got it right. Yeah.
That's one of me again, sitting on a tank.
Oh yeah, this is one of our tanks?
Yep.
Yeah, it is. Yep. That tank looks like it's been around.
Oh, yeah.
You got it? Okay.
That's one of my buddies there. There's the upside down.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at that. It's a 2.5 ton truck upside down. And if you turn it over, it's right side up.
Now, these fellas, these is laborers over there.
Mm-hmm.
These is South Koreans. What they're doing is getting the logs for bunkers.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Do you have a little bitty camera? That's time, right? And then this is,
There's the friend of mine, buddy of mine. Just, we got off ship, ready to go home.
is this fellow Tony?
Tony
Oh.
DeVico.
What's his name?
Tony DeVico. He's
Okay.
from Jersey.
And you still keep in touch with him, huh?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Whereabouts in New Jersey does he live?
Cape Courthouse. You heard of Cape Courthouse?
Oh, yeah?
That ain't far from,
This is your friend here with an M1 carbine, I see, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you do keep in touch with him, Cape Courthouse in
Oh,
New
yeah.
Jersey, huh?
Well, I did with others, like I said, they passed on, you know.
Yep. Now, you
Especially-
you mentioned earlier, let's mention your brother had been already killed during World War II. How did your mom deal with this, the fact that all you other
It was
fellows were
pretty,
serving?
it was, the hard part was when we had his body brought home.
Uh-huh.
That was the hard part. And of course, this first sergeant traveled from the Latuna, Italy, from the gravesite, all the way to the Sven.
The company
Body
involved.
was brought, yeah.
Is he buried there in
He buried in Catskill.
Catskill?
Catskill Cemetery, St. Patrick's.
St. Patrick, yeah. And your mom was really a Gold Star mother then?
Yeah.
Even before any of you other
Yeah.
brothers, yeah. And meanwhile, your brother was, Peanuts was serving in the Navy at that time?
He served in the Navy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mostly, he ran up to Greenland, I guess, mostly. Tanker.
Right. Well, I want to thank you very much for sharing your experience with us, Bob.
Well, I wish I could give you something a little bit better, but
That's fine. Real good. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.